And there you go. That's Thin Disguise by our next guest, Davy Williamson. Davy, come on in here and say hello to the folks.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to be here.
Glad to have you with us. Wonderful for you to share the time with us. And thanks for the great music. Thin Disguise, I know there has to be a story behind that song between, well, the title, but also the lyric. And if you listen to the lyric, you know there's a story. What is it, Davy?
Yeah, I mean, people ask me this a lot in interviews, and the thing that I'll say about it, I like to leave it up to interpretation to the listener and what they pull from it, let them kind of work through what scenario it works in their life. For me, writing it was based off of relationship in a situation where my parents are divorced or were divorced, and it was kind of the battle between each parent trying to fight for the love for the kid. And trying to, hey, listen, one of the things you kind of hear people, you get it from your mama, that thing they say, or, they get it from your papa. It's kind of like that, but like the parents are being like, oh, you know why you're like that? And my dad used to say, well, you get it on it.
Right.
To kind of always be like, the reason that you're like who you are is because I taught you this, and I did this. This is what happened in that relationship. This was the reasons why this didn't work, and this and that. And, for me, it became a frustrating situation as a child, and the back and forth and the convincing. There's a line in the song where it says, I never wanted to be like you. It's during a big break, right before the guitar solo, kind of like a pre-guitar solo area of the song, if you've heard it. And then it's very angsty, I can tell you that. And you can tell that the frustration came out, thankfully, through the music, and it didn't have to turn it into else.
Yeah, you can sense that if you listen to the song. You can sense the angst and the feelings and emotions, and that's why I kind of knew there had to be a story behind it, whether whatever it was, whether even if it was something you didn't want to talk about, which is always a possibility. But hey, we ask the questions because, well, what we try to do, we try to ask the questions that we think the listeners would like to know the answers to, what they would ask if they were here. And John Bon Jovial has that questioning look on his face right now, so I know he wants to jump in here with something. What you got, John?
Well, sure, certainly. Davy, first of all and foremost of all, welcome to the show. It is great to have you with us. And we especially, calling us all the way from the U.S. Virgin Islands, that's great. And we sure wish we were with you.
Yeah.
I want to touch, though, on the, what we're just talking about here with the song. And you're talking about familial angst. And I get that. We all have that to one degree or another. The most dysfunctional families all the way up to the most functional families have that element in there. But how much over and above that is there an influence from your professional associates, from your personal associations with your friends and things of that nature, things that may have blown up between you and your best buddy in the past and how you put it back together again? So how does that play in?
I feel like it's relatable. And how I go about writing songs and when I sit down and try to put it to paper, I try to keep it where someone can interpret to fit their situation, not based off of my exact words, and using phrases within the song to grasp the listener. Where it's, like I was talking about, the kind of pre-guitar solo area, there's the line that, I never wanted to be like you. And then there's the chorus option, obviously, which is very direct, but I think it's relatable that people get frustrated and angry, and they say things, about my case. It was about, lies being told. And obviously I was pretty mad about it, as you can hear.
You've said that you have difficulty expressing some of your feelings, your emotions to people, and that you have tried to do this in your music. And I think it's obvious from this song that you do very well at doing just that. So if you do have this, this little hang-up about expressing yourself, or it's awkward for you, whatever, you do express yourself very well in the lyrics of your music. And I think that's that may be a very good thing for you, because it gives you a way to express yourself that you couldn't otherwise, if you follow what I'm saying.
I do. I think that there's healing properties there because I think with a lot of writers, not just me, I think that the frustration comes from not being able to say what you really want to say because you're afraid of maybe hurting feelings or it being misunderstood. And when you put it in song and you have the ability to lay it out exactly what it is, but keeping it, I hate to use the word vague, but vague enough where it can become relatable to other people's situations. But for me, the healing properties of that have been tremendous by putting it on paper and getting it out there for people. And you know what? You're nervous at first when you put it out there, because if you tried to say all the words that I say in some of the songs directly to somebody, it can be misconstrued, it can be misinterpreted, it can be all the wrong things, and you never, you can be interrupted. A situation that I deal with somebody is everything I say gets interrupted. So I never get to finish what I'm saying. And it's unfortunate because that relationship is ending between me and this person. We're, at this point, it's I'm hurting. You hurt people by saying things direct like that sometimes, but at the same time, it's such a relief for you. But you can't take the blame for them not understanding what you're saying, especially when you say it so clear within a song.
Yeah, exactly, and I agree 100% with you. Now, looking at your past, you've been in music for quite a while. I know we have one thing in common, and that's having some roots in Plant City, Florida. You were you were born in Plant City, weren't you?
I was. Yeah, I was born in Plant City. I think it's Strawberry Festival goes on there, Strawberry Capital of the World or something. Yeah. So I'm not even sure because I was an infant, but I think I was there maybe 1-2 years. Kind of have a confusing childhood about like where I was and what was going on, but more or less I was in Wilmington, North Carolina. I was raised in Wilmington, North Carolina. That's where I'm from. I still live there today.
I spent a couple of years before you were born. I was down there in Plant City. Let's see, I moved down to Florida in the spring of '73, just before Memorial Day, and I was there for a little over a year before the big city lured me away, and I worked at the local station there in Plant City, WPLA, and we got to participate in the festival and parade, and it's a big thing down there. It's too bad you didn't get to sample a little bit of it. You might want to go back there sometime in March, I think it is, when they do the Strawberry Festival. It's really a fun time. The little old city comes alive, that's for sure. Then I left and went to Tampa, where I met John Bon Jovial in Tampa radio, and we're 40 some odd years later, we're still talking and playing music together. But this is all about you, not about us. You were part of several bands during your formative years before you went solo.
I was in a few bands, but the ones that kind of stood out were Third Class Passenger, which was myself, Chris McCullen, and Jason Cardenas. And we had a little success. We had a song that went to radio. We had a second one that played a couple times that didn't go anywhere. And then, we did a couple small tours. And those were good. And I think we learned that who were the ones that wanted to see it through and continue to tour and continue to pursue a music career. Some of us decided that was a terrible idea, so that band ended. And then the next band, my next effort towards it was myself, my brother, Davy Williamson, on guitar, and Michael Barbie and Chad Hoyle, and Chad on drums and Michael on bass. But all those guys, incredible musicians. And Michael's still playing locally, and I think he does a couple regional things, but big stuff. I mean, he's doing things, but he's on the drums now. Michael is that played bass with me with my Shot Pod band.
Versatile.
We had some success as well, small, again, very small, and we did some touring, and it went pretty well. But unfortunately, the money just wasn't there. We did everything from House of Blues circuit shows to shows where we had two people in the room. So it gets tough because financially it doesn't make a lot of sense, and you find yourself kind of like a dog chasing its tail, you know, and you never catch up. So everybody other than myself and Michael Barbie, and Michael Barbie plays with a band now called L-Shaped Lot, and those guys are great, and they're out of Wilmington, North Carolina. He plays with them, and they do a few shows, I think, a month, maybe more than a few, but I haven't been keeping that close to track with it because I've been just busy between the next record out, busy trying to get the next
and your
record
solo
out.
Career, yeah. I'm getting the rap signal from the studio, so I need to wrap this up before we run out of time. And we always try to give our guests a chance to sell themselves because, let's face it, that's what this is all about. Your stage and your chance to spread the word. Tell the folks how they can find you, find your music, buy your music, and so on.
Yeah, you can go to DavyWilliamson.com. That's D-A-V-Y Williamson.com. That's the main page. Within that page, you can find everything from Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, Spotify. I mean, all of it. SoundCloud. Name it, and it's all. It was distributed to every store, so it's available for download. It's available for play. YouTube. So get on there, subscribe. Add me on all the social media sites to keep track of whenever this COVID thing goes away.
Great. And if you ever get down to the Naples-Fort Myers area, John Bon Jovi lives down there. I'm out in the Tempe, Phoenix area, so you get out here, give me a call. We'd love to get to meet you in person, see you in action. Keep us in mind there. Please do keep in touch, and we'd love to have you come back and see us again.
Absolutely. I'd love to do it.
Fantastic. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Davy Williamson. And here he is, like when we both came out of Plant City, Florida, the same place.